Today we're going to find out the effects that ethanol has on an off-the-shelf flex fuel enabled tune on Bootmod. This car is already running downpipes with Bootmod's stage 2 off-the-shelf multimap, which has flex fuel enabled from standard. We've fitted a flex fuel sensor to the car. We've changed the mapping on Bootmod so that it knows it's got the flex fuel sensor fitted. And now we're going to do some runs on the dyno. So the first run, we're going to be running it in map 4 on the multimap, which is supposed to be Bootmod's standard map. So first run with no ethanol, we're making 520 wheel horsepower, a little bit more than what's quoted as stock. For the next run, we've selected map 3 on the multi-map on Bootmod. This map is supposed to be the higher octane fuel map, and this would be the map that you would expect it would run the most power on. So surprisingly, there's not a great deal more extra horsepower in map 3 in comparison to map 4. Now it's time to run E20 in the tank. So we've loaded up some ethanol, we've checked the ethanol sensor on the live data, and we can see that it's running at E20. Let's go again. So with E20 in the tank, it shot up to 568 horsepower. And you can see the power curves change quite dramatically as well. So, next job, let's try some E30 and see how we get on with that. Wow, what a massive jump there. Straight up to 600 wheel horsepower. Absolutely insane considering that all we've done is added 2 bottles of ethanol to the tank. It's worth noting at this point that we've made no mapping changes to this car whatsoever. The Bootmod software has figured it all out on its own. So literally all we've had to do is fit the flex fuel sensor, add the ethanol, and the software's done the rest. Absolutely incredible. And for the last run, we're going to be running this car at E40. It's not really recommended to go any further than E40 when you're still running a standard fuel system. So we're going to stick at that and see how we get on. So there we have it, the final run of the day, running E40 fuel, and the car's put down 630 wheel horsepower. Pretty impressive considering we started with 530 and all we've done is add ethanol to the tank. So, let's go over what's just happened. The first run, 520 horsepower, that was the switchable standard map, i.e. map 4 that you'd normally get on Bootmod. And obviously it's not a true representation of what stock power would be because this car did come into us with downpipes already on and the stage 2 Bootmod tune already on. So the only option that we had was to set it to standard in the switchable map and run it at that. So if you look at the difference between that and the next one, which is supposed to be the higher power map on stage 2, you can see 536. So the difference is negligible, but you can also see the graph has changed quite a bit in comparison to the inverted commas stock map on map 4 on Bootmod. So run 3, we were trying E20. This is where things get really interesting. So if you look at the green line, you can see that it's increased to 568 horsepower, wheel horsepower. This is just from 20% ethanol being added in. Run it with 30% ethanol, jumps up to 601. So again, you can see quite a big jump there just from running an extra 10% ethanol. And again, this is with no map changes. This is just different fuel and Bootmod working it out on its own. And if we go to the final one where we're running E40, you can see power jumps up again to 632. This is all measured at the wheels. So feel free to calculate your own flywheel horsepower on that. We don't do that. We'll just show you exactly what we can see in front of us. So as you can see, the difference between stock, which is the red line, and the difference between the final blue line is quite a big jump. And that's literally just from adding some ethanol to the tank with this flex fuel sensor. So, final thoughts then. Is the flex fuel sensor worth having? Absolutely. You can stick that flex fuel sensor on there and you can just run normal fuel in it all year round with no problems. And then if you want a little bit more power when you go to drag strip or your mate wants a race, you can just buy a little bit of ethanol online and stick it in the tank and the car will work it out on its own. So for that reason, I think the flex fuel sensor is a win. And we can offer them on F and G series platforms. We can fit them no problem, same day. So give us a shout if you want one.